As we get started with our course on managing safety and risks at work, here's a little intro to some of the key issues in workplace safety and risk management in Australia in 2025. Often we start talking about injury patterns. We often focus on fatalities, and it is important to note that in the latest set of statistics, which is 2023, there were 200 work-related fatalities in Australia. Musculoskeletal disorders are still the leading cause of serious workers' compensation claims. And it's also so interesting to note that claims for mental stress rank at number 4 amongst those serious claims. There's important changes that have been proposed here in New South Wales in terms of how workers' compensation is afforded in relation to psychological injury, with a proposal from the government to increase the level of permanent impairment after which people would be able to achieve compensation. It's really controversial, and it's an issue that's playing out right now. Another really important topic is silicosis. There's increasing claims of lung disease from inhaling silica dusts, including in workers in mining and tunnelling and those working with engineered stone, such as what's used for kitchen bench tops. This has led to a ban on engineered stone products in Australia from July 2024. It's a really important topic, silicosis, and one that I anticipate we'll hear a lot more about in the next few years as people continue to be diagnosed with conditions related to silica dust. Psychosocial hazards are probably the biggest topic in workplace health and safety in 2025 and indeed in 2024. We have new regulations that have emphasised the duties that employers have to protecting their workers from sources of harm to their psychological health. Following developments in the other states, South Australia is about to have their code of practice in this area come online, and Victoria is about to enact these provisions by the end of 2025. So there'll be real consistency around Australia in terms of what employers need to do about these kinds of hazards. Many employers, large and small, are really struggling with what they're doing in their response to identifying and controlling psychosocial hazards more effectively. So this is one that we're going to hear a lot more about. And of course, like many hazards, this is the one that is relevant across all sectors. Anywhere that people work, there's psych hazards. So a really important one to pay attention to. Another really interesting issue in workplace safety at the moment that people are really turning their minds to is gig work. This is about the work patterns and tasks of people working in gig roles, such as delivering food, doing ride sharing, doing task-based services, and doing healthcare services. This has become a really increased focus for WHS regulators. These workers are exposed to a range of risks depending on the sector and depending on the tasks that they're performing. But the key issue here is that they're not always covered by safety protections nor by injury compensation schemes. So it raises questions about who the employer is, who's responsible, and how people can best be protected when performing these roles. We know there's going to be increased guidance in this area, maybe some regulatory reform, but a really key issue to be looking at in work health safety practice. It's also important to remember that we can learn from all industries about safety, not just those that are labelled as safety critical or that are thought to be really safe. Part of what we'll be doing in this course is looking for underlying themes to show how hazards, risks and controls can be present across all sectors. The important issues of worker demographics and worker needs also overlay on how we approach safety at work. This reflects, to some extent, a systems view. understanding how everything connects to make a whole work system, including its workers, clients, customers, stakeholders, and the broader community, safe. Of course, these are not the only important issues in safety. We'll be talking more about the ones I've just outlined. And I guess my challenge to you is to find some of the others. What are the emerging themes that you're starting to see as you engage with the material throughout the course and read widely in the literature and look to the media about what's happening in safety across different industries and across the community.